Morning everyone, I am Harpreet. In this video session we are going to revise our important question of chapter the Browning version of class 11. So our first important question is here. Question number 1. Where does Taplow meet Frank? What does Taplow feel about being there? So answer is Taplow meets Frank at Mr Crocker-Harris' office at school. Taplow had been given extra work to do as he missed a day because he was not well, and that's why he has to complete the previous week's work. It was the last day of the school and he wished to play golf instead. Next question is, what subject does Taplow want to opt for and why? So Taplow wishes to opt for science if he manages good grades. He claims to be really interested in science and feels it is more interesting than studying classics such as Agamemnon, which he calls muck. It had a lot of Greek words, and Mr Crocker-Harris punished them for not getting them right because Greek was not understandable for them. Next question is, why does Taplow feel that Mr Harris is hardly human? So answer is, Taplow feels that putting in extra work would make no difference to Mr Harris. He had told Taplow that he had got what he deserved. Taplow suspects that he might be awarded with fewer marks to make him do extra work. He feels Mr. Harris is unfeeling worse than a sadist, and that's why he calls him hardly human, because he did not tell the result whether he was doing extra work. Next question is, what does Frank suggest to Taplow about waiting for Mr. Harris? When Taplow tells Frank that he was supposed to meet Mr. Crocker-Harris at 6:30, Frank tells Taplow that Mr. Crocker-Harris was already 10 minutes late. He suggests him that he should go and play golf. But Taplow is shocked and expresses his apprehension if Mr. Crocker-Harris should know. He was sure that nobody had ever done that with Mr. Crocker-Harris. He was afraid of his teacher. Why does Taplow feel that Mr. Harris has no feeling? Taplow calls Mr. Harris worse than a sadist. One is required to admit to feelings if considered a sadist. Mr. Harris inside feels Taplow is like a nut, and he seems to hate people liking him. He did not appreciate Taplow. Next question is, how did Taplow try to express his liking for Mr. Harris? What was the outcome? Taplow admits to liking Mr. Harris and realized he felt uncomfortable about people liking him. He recalls an episode in the class when Mr. Crocker-Harris made one of his jokes and to which nobody laughed. Taplow knew that it was meant to be funny, so he started laughing, to which Mr. Crocker-Harris teased Taplow about his knowledge of Latin and asked him that if you understand this joke, then tell the others. So you must explain the joke in the class. Next question. Who was Millie Crocker-Harris? What was she like? So Millie Crocker-Harris was a young wife of Mr. Crocker-Harris. She was a thin woman in her late 30s and was more smartly dressed than the other schoolmasters' wives. Next question is, how does Millie Crocker-Harris send Taplow away? Millie learns from Taplow that he was waiting for her husband, and she suggests him to leave for some time since Mr. Harris might be a while. Taplow is hesitant, so Millie assures him by saying that she will blame if Mr. Harris arrived before that. She finally sends Taplow off to the chemist shop and assure him that if Sir came, then I'll say him that I have sent you for the prescription for the medicine. So these are some important questions of our chapter, Browning version. Thank you. Have a nice day.